Hello lovelies, this is my video for Lammas, and I thought we have my desk space here and the lovely sunbeams coming through the window, my fake ivy with little lights on it, and all my little things which I've picked up over the years on my desk. And I've been thinking hard about what to do this Lammas, because it's come at the end of a very stressful time for us. Himself has just finished his paramedic degree exams, and that's been a very stressful time. I've been having interesting mental health times after us being assessed for therapy, which I'm going to be getting, which is lovely. So when you think of harvest, you tend to think of the outdoors and the physical crops and the wonderful food that we've reaped, if you like, or are in the process of reaping at this time. But I don't know how many of you listening are farmers, and I would wager not very many. We have a lot of farms around where I live, and I've been seeing the crops be pulled in and baled up, and the tractors rumbling past the house on their way to wherever they're going. And I'm seeing the harvest start. But this weekend feels to me a bit more of the resolution of a harvest. So for himself, it's coming towards the end of his studies. We don't know yet what the results are, but we'll see. For me, it feels like the end of last year, the last however many months of lockdown, now that we in the UK are out of lockdown. But by no means are we safe just yet, in that we now have to have evidence of our vaccinations and that sort of thing. But without going into that, it feels like the world is starting to move again. I'm starting to get calls for weddings and funerals and namings and other lovely things. And I feel that this festival, in that it is so different from last year when we were all sort of sitting, twiddling our thumbs and not sure which way to move, this year seems more forward moving, without being able to find the right words. It feels that we're starting to progress again. But I'm summing up here the difficulty that I've had, because I haven't had words recently. I've been trying to get on with writing and reviewing and generally upkeeping the blog and all other sorts of things, and I haven't had the words. And this is worrying to me, because I sit, if I can even get this far, I sit and look at the blankness. But sometimes I can't even get this far. And this is my laptop covered in a shawl, where it's been for the last week or two. I've done minimal work because I haven't been able to. I felt so low in my mood, so lacking motivation. Even though this space is lovely, what's inside my head has not been. And I've had some fantastic support from people, from immediate friends around and people further away. And I know this is part of the process. But it's still worrying, and it's still me asking, okay, if I can't have the writing right now, what can I do instead? And I found myself reading, which has been somewhat difficult, but once I found the right thing to hang my brain on, the right book, the right article, the right author full of good back catalogue, I can engage through that. I can focus through that. And as there hasn't been really any public rituals and whatnot, it seems that while my first main ritual is actually next weekend for someone, it feels that I'm coming out of winter instead of summer. It feels as if I'm coming out of a drought, which is kind of apt with the crazy weather that everyone in the world is having. And I think this harvest, I'm looking at what I've done over the last year, and I want to cheer every tiny little step, because given the state of the world, and that's environmentally, politically, socially, that's everything, it's been so odd and so different and so uncertain that I'm not sure where I am, and I'm still sort of feeling my way. But for every step I take, I think that is a good thing. And even looking out the window now and seeing the sunbeams, it's a glorious thing, it's a wonderful thing, and it makes me happy. And that is a fantastic feeling in itself, because that's been so hard to find too. I hear from friends that they're having lovely crop harvests. Their gardens are bearing fruit, literally, which is pretty amazing, because until recently, not many people did that. Or people would have little tiny vegetable plots and that sort of thing. Because of the state of the world, more people are looking at doing that, looking at having their own little tiny house farm. People have got chickens, people have got vegetables, people have got fruit trees, and that's amazing. We had one fruit tree and it's actually died over the last year, which is sad, but we're currently looking at redoing the entire garden so that we can decide what next. And I think that'll be more moving into next year's plans now. But we have enough food in the cupboard, which is more than many. We have a roof. We have leaks somewhat, but hopefully they'll be stopped soon. We're finding our way, and we're moving even when it's really hard and really stressful and you're stuck in the dark and you don't know what to think or do or say or where to move. And that's not a usual feeling for the end of summer. Not that we're at the end of it, we're at the beginning of the end of it. This is the first harvest. But I'm asking, rather than what is it that you're harvesting, what is it that you're feeling right now? Are you feeling strong or weak or inspired or confused or worried? While we don't plant seeds at this time of the year, I think at the moment we're kind of grabbing for all we can. And the plans that we've had to put on hold for so long don't fit in with the calendar, do they? So while it was nice to make plans earlier in the year and see the buds in spring as we kind of started to move out into the world again in the UK, now we're harvesting a lot of uncertainty and a lot of confusion about what to do next. So the challenge now is to get from this harvest to the next harvest festival in September, and then through to Samhain, the final one before winter, and for us to think what we're doing, where we're going, what's going to keep us inspired over this winter, and how we keep ourselves moving forward and not stagnating or sitting or getting lost in the dark, because that is a very, very real threat, I think. I've certainly been feeling it. I've been feeling very much unwanted, or my brain's been telling me how useless I am. And rationally, I know it's not true, but we're not in rational times, are we? So, Druidry is supposed to be about the real and the tangible as well as the spiritual. And that means dealing with the dark as well as the light. And it means dealing with the home and the hearth as well as the wider world. And we've been stuck in our homes. We're now able to step out, but it feels delicate. The balance is thrown right now, and we're all trying to figure where we are. So this Lammas, I'm going to light a candle, I don't want this to show my face because this isn't about me, even though I'm the one doing the talking. I light this candle, which was made for Ceridwen. I light it in front of my laptop, which is the tool of my craft, covered in my knitting, which is what I do to create and bring a little colour and a bit of warmth and a small hug. And I light this single flame. And this weekend, this Lammas weekend, I want us to light a flame, even just for a short while, and sit with it and think what you've made, what you've done, the words you've spoken or written or shared over the last few months, the last few weeks, the last few days. See any patterns there might be, feel the ride as it goes up and down of life, and consider what the harvest of 2021 is bringing. Because it's more than the harvest of 2020 in its way. And if we're still here listening to this, I'm thankful. I really, truly am, because many of us are not. But I walk with you who are listening to this. I walk with you forwards. I stay as strong as I can be, which isn't very good on some days, but on others, one foot in front of the other foot. And we step forward together. We move, we head into this harvest season. We be thankful for each breath, each word, each thought. We try and hold on to that and to this shared community who I've not seen in so very long, but who I see every day on here. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for this technology, even as it daunts me. We try not to get overwhelmed. We try to sit just with this one wee light. And we think of all the other lights. I think of all your lights that you hold in your hearts and your heads and your homes. As this season moves forward, because the world is not stopping. And never more has it been important to be relevant. And I'm not thinking about pictures of bountiful fruit harvests. I'm thinking about just being here. So, let me know how you get on. Let me know your thoughts. I do love to hear from everyone. And there'll be another video soon. Harvest blessings, friends.